everybody, this is Mrs. Damavandy. We're going to look at some of my favorite mistakes that were made on the pretest, that Google form you guys took. Okay, so we're going to look at some problems that involve integers and operations first. How did this one happen? Problem was 4 plus -8 minus 3. And the answer people put was -20. Okay. So this mistake is because of the parentheses. When we see parentheses, we think multiplication because you group things in parentheses, 3 and then a 4. And it means multiply because they're next to each other and you get 12. Okay. But parentheses in this expression is just separating this plus sign and this minus sign so that they're not next to each other. All right. Next mistake that happened in this is that if you got -20, you would have had to multiply -8 and -3 and gotten -24. Next crucial thing to remember, when you multiply a negative times a negative, you're gonna get a positive. Equals positive. Okay, but if we continue with the mistakes, we would have had 4 minus 24, and that is -20. If we fix our mistakes, though, we're just going to start adding from left to right and subtracting. So we have 4 plus -8. That's really just start with 4 and take away 8. So we have -4. And then we are supposed to minus the 3 after that. So -4 minus the 3. This is really -7 for the final answer. And this one, the expression was 8, take away 4, plus a -2, minus a -6. The first mistake is not paying attention to this minus sign right here. People just saw, oh, -2 and -6 somehow makes -8, I think, is what they saw. Because if they did that, they have 8 minus 4 minus 8. You could get -4 if you were like, oh, a +8 and a -8 are 0, so I'm just left with -4. That's one way I figured out how to do the mistakes, because they're not going in order from left to right. If we do go in order, we have 8, take away 4. Okay, so that leaves us with 4. Then we're going to add -2. We can even kind of rewrite this. When there's two signs next to each other, adding -2 is really subtracting 2. Subtraction overtakes addition. But after that, the minus -6, when you're subtracting a negative number, it's the same as adding it. Okay, so let's start over from the beginning again. 4 minus 2 would be 2. Plus 6, we should really end up with 8 on that problem. Okay, the next couple problems have to do with distributing, right? So, this first one, 7 times 4x plus y, okay? To get the 7, that 3 and 4 were combined. 3 and 4 add together makes 7. And then if you look at everything in parentheses and you combine everything in the parentheses, x and 3x's, that's the 4x right here. And then the 2y, take away 1y is 1y. Okay? This was how it was written. I would have put it in parentheses because it's kind of like, oh, I combined everything outside the parentheses, and then I combined everything that were inside parentheses. But that's not actually the right approach. Okay? Distributing is multiplying, so you gotta multiply it before you can add and combine stuff. If we look at this one, let's see, 3x, they could have gotten from just right here, and then the y, oh, never mind, I know what they did with this one. Okay, so this one I'm thinking they're like, okay, 3x's right there. And then the 4 and 3x right here, instead of actually multiplying, because we said distributing is multiplying, remember? Instead of multiplying 3 and 4 to get 12, they added 3 and 4 to get 7. And then they took the plus 2y and the minus y and got a single y. Okay? And in this expression, really, the 3x plus y plus 7x isn't even simplified all the way because we'd want to combine those two terms with x. But that was a creative mistake. But be careful distributing 4 times 3x. Okay? So distributing, said a couple times, is multiplication. You want to do that first. That's where all these mistakes are stemming from. This one's kind of similar to the first one. They combined the 3 on the outside of the parentheses and the 4 to get a 7. And then they combined, okay, these terms with x's, get 4x's, and then the 2y and the negative y to get a single y. They didn't do any of the multiplication. They just added the constants, added the terms with x's, added the terms with y's. So that's good on combined like terms, but with distributing, we need to multiply the number outside the parentheses to all terms inside the parentheses. So we do 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2y is positive 6y. We're going to write the sign in front to separate these terms. Okay, and this is moving on to a positive 4y. I'm going to distribute in. So positive 4, not positive 4y, just positive 4. Positive 4 times 3x is positive 12x. And then positive 4 times the negative y. Positive times a negative is a negative. Positive 4 times negative y is minus 4y. Now from here, there's no multiplication, just add up and combine like terms. Okay, so we got our x's. That's going to be 15x. And we have our y's. 6y, take away 4 of them. That's going to be positive 2y left over. That would be the simplified expression. Okay, I think this is the last one. This was an answer I got on the form. Mistake here was actually not distributing. They did that correctly. 3 times x, see the 3x. 3 times the 2y, we see the 6y. And then they grouped that in parentheses like this is what happened over here. Plus, which follows because we're adding all this that's after. So the 4 times 3, 12x, they got that here. And then the 4 times negative y, negative 4y, they got that here. It's just that this is not fully simplified. Just because you kind of grouped these in the 2 separate parentheses of like this was the first distributing thing, and this is the second distributing thing, doesn't mean we can't add like terms from here. Okay? Just because this 3x is not in the same parentheses as this 12x doesn't mean we can't combine them. It's possible because everything is just addition and subtraction. So the parentheses don't even matter. It's really just 3x plus 6y plus 12x minus 4y. And then if we add up those like terms like we got in the previous slide, it's still 15x plus 2y for the final answer. Okay, so those were all of my favorite mistakes. Be careful. Make sure you distribute and multiply through everything. Positive times negative is negative. Negative times negative is positive. Gotta remember those. Okay. See you later.